Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Laugh While You Scream with me, your host, Baguyoko. How are you guys doing today on this wonderful Sunday afternoon? I have been a little behind because I've been dealing, with whatever life gets busy. Life gets very, very busy over here, I'm telling you. Life gets very, very busy over here. Like right now, I'm fighting for some sleep, okay? I just want to close my eyes. I just want to close my eyes and sleep. I'm so tired. Anyway, you guys, welcome back. So thanks so much for joining me once again. Okay, I really appreciate you guys so much for coming back and for listening. And today I am just me. Okay. Now what are we doing? We're reading short, scary stories from Reddit. And today's OP is Forgottenwell. Okay, the twins of terror. We know them. We've heard them many, many times. We love them dearly. Every story that we've had from Forgottenwell has been very good stories, so expect that this one is very good today as well. Unfortunately, like I said, I have not been reading them ahead of time because, hey, I want to be surprised just like hell. What's going on? I want to know what's going on till the very end. I want to be excited when I'm reading, okay? So I'm reading to you guys to figure out how this story is. Okay, let's begin. Oh, wait. The title is Starting to Think I'm Going to Die in This Apartment. All right, cool. Are we ready? Let's begin. The very first time I went over to my boyfriend Matt's apartment, he told me 3 words that took me completely by surprise. You're not leaving. I thought he was joking, or maybe trying to be cute. I have to go, babe, I said, planting a gentle kiss on his cheek. I've got work in the morning. Matt put a hand on my shoulder as I tried to get up, guiding me back down to the couch. I blushed, thinking maybe he wanted to make out a little more before I left. But then he stood up and walked to the door. It's best if I show you so you understand what I mean. Matt slipped on his boots, stepped outside, shut the door behind him, and when he turned the key in the lock, the door vanished. I sat on the couch, dumbfounded, staring at where the door used to be. Matt, I called out, completely alone on the 7th floor of an apartment that no longer had an exit. Matt, I shut up from the couch and rushed to the entryway. The door was simply gone. In fact, there was no evidence that a door had ever been there in the first place. This isn't funny, Matt, I yelled, pounding on the wall. After 10 minutes of pounding, I had nothing to show for it except for a pair of bruised fists. I grabbed my phone, dialed 911, and then froze. I was going to sound absolutely insane trying to explain this to the police. I hit call, and there was only static. It was like Matt's apartment was completely cut off from the rest of the world. I tried calling the police for 6 hours until I heard a loud click, and then suddenly the door was back in place as if it had never left. Matt walked into the apartment and said, "Do you understand?" Matt, I hissed through clenched teeth, what the fuck is going on? So many girlfriends had left me in the past, but I changed that. Matt knocked twice on the door in quick succession. Now you can't leave. Isn't it wonderful? We can be together forever, and I can take care of and provide for you, and you won't need anybody else except for me. And Matt kept explaining how wonderful this was while I planned how I was going to get past him, out the door, and out of his life for good. I figured a sudden bum rush was my best move, but Matt was prepared for it. He stopped me violently before I even made it a few steps to the door. The next few days went basically like that. Matt would leave for work in the morning, leaving me alone in an empty, doorless apartment, and when he got back, I would fight like hell to escape. Matt was a foot taller than me and over 100 pounds heavier, so I didn't stand a chance. When I tried to come at him with one of his kitchen knives, he just laughed. Yes, he cried, ripping open his button shirt. Kill me! I can't wait for you to see what happens when I die. That stopped me in my tracks. What happens when you die? I muttered, keeping the knife between him and me. Poof, Matt smiled. The door goes away for good, and you're stuck in here until you starve. I stopped fighting with him after that. I tentatively accepted that I was trapped. There were some escape attempts over the next few years, but none of them successful. Matt always kept a close eye on me, and he was somehow always strategically positioned between me and the door. Don't worry, he'd say. Eventually, you won't even want to leave. The awful thing was that he was right. I started looking forward to seeing Matt. None of the electronics in the apartment worked when the door was gone, and the isolation and boredom hit me really hard. Matt was my only company, my connection to the outside world, my greatest source of entertainment. It sickened me, but I was happier when he was home. So I embraced my new life, waiting patiently for the moment when Matt finally got complacent. I had tried to escape in 100 different ways, each one more dramatic than the last. So it was no surprise that my simplest attempt was the one that finally worked. For Matt's birthday, I made him a feast. I kept feeding him until he got so full that he dozed off. A nap was what finally saved me. Matt wore the key to the apartment on a chain around his neck. I was very careful. I was very carefully lifted it off. Wait, let's repeat that. I very carefully lifted it off him and tiptoed to the door. The sound of the knot turning woke Matt from his food coma. Wait, he shouted, shooting off the couch like a rocket. Please stay. We were just starting to build a life together. Matt inched closer, and even though there were a million things I wanted to say, I decided to throw myself out the door instead. Matt scrambled for the knob when I turned the key. Click. It's funny I could hear Matt pounding on the wall, but it was barely audible, like it was happening miles away. I stood in the hall, free for the first time since I couldn't remember when, and I didn't know what to do. For the longest time, all I knew was Matt. It's sad, but for a moment I thought I might be making a mistake and considering unlocking the door and going back into him. That's when I got an even better idea. I put my palms on the key, leaned all my weight onto it, and broke it off in the lock. The door vanished completely, as well as the sound of Matt's pounding. Consider this our divorce, I said with a grin, and walked happily towards the future. The end. Now, like I said before, you guys know Forgottenwell writes a good story, and once again, was this not a good story? Tell the truth. Tell the truth and shame the devil. Was this not a good story? This was a very good story right here. I do applaud them every time. Very good job, Forgotten Wells. This one was a very good one, just like all the others. You know what I'm saying? They're very good storytellers. They're very good story writers. You got to give props where props is due, and they are certainly due of the props that they have been given. So thank you guys once again for listening. Okay, thanks for joining me once again, and I greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to go on to Reddit and show Forgotten Well some love. Okay, give them a like, comment on their stories, tell them how you feel, do all the things. Okay, And while you're doing all the things there, don't forget to do all the things here, okay? Subscribe while you're here, okay? Rate 5 stars, leave a review, okay? That would be very, very, very greatly appreciated, okay? Also, don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms, which is easily available for you by clicking the link in the story for this audio. I forgot, what do they call it? The show notes. It's called the show notes. Clicking the link in the show notes, okay? I'm going to stop calling it the description for this audio and call it the show notes because a lot of other people call it the show notes. So I'm going to call it the show notes as well, okay? So clicking the link in the show notes to follow us on all social media. Also, if you're a fan of true crime, don't forget to check out In Time Crime, which is also linked in the show notes, okay? Thank you guys for joining us once again. Please don't forget to join us next time. Hopefully it'll be tomorrow, okay? I've been trying. But without a partner, it's a little difficult for me, okay? But either way, try to join us again another time. If you subscribe, you will definitely know as soon as the story is available. So do that so you'll be aware, okay? And I'll see you guys again next time. Have a wonderful, beautiful, sunshiny day. Bye-bye now.